Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in for another segment in Kent ISD's ATK on the Go. I'm Susie Ruskeski, an augmentative and alternative communication consultant with Kent ISD's Special Education Department. You can find all the ATK on the Go resources and information at assisttechno.org. In this session, we will be discussing Tarheel Reader. This is an online collection of free, easy-to-read, and accessible books on a wide range of topics. From today's session, we want you to walk away with the steps to find, write, and edit existing books that you can begin to utilize with your students. Before we dive into our exploration of Tarheel Reader, we want to make mention that whenever we are trialing assistive technology with our students, we want to ensure that the decision to trial a specific tool or strategy has been determined through a collaborative decision-making process with the students' team. With so many options and technologies available, purposeful decisions are essential. Here at Kent ISD, we promote use of the SET framework by Joy Zabala. Dr. Zabala reminds us to keep the following in mind when using the SET. Student environments and tasks do not need to be explored in order or separately. Tools are the last to be considered and are only selected after the team has fully considered the student's strengths, abilities, and skills, the environments where the student will use the assistive technology, as well as the task the student needs to complete to participate in order to achieve his or her IEP goals. Now let's talk a little bit more about Tarheel Reader. Tarheel Reader is a resource that allows you to find books on a variety of age-appropriate topics that exist in the current collection. There is a speech-enabled voice that allows you to have text read aloud. In the same site, you can also write books or edit existing books that can be published to the site or saved for personal use. Who is Tarheel Reader a good fit for? Well, Tarheel Reader is a free resource that's intended to be used with students who are just beginning to read, who might be struggling with reading, and English language learners. With so many resources available, what makes Tarheel Reader unique? Tarheel Reader holds a collection of books on a variety of topics that are both appropriate and interesting for our students in pre-K through 12th grade and beyond. We know that motivation is key for our students who are struggling to read. This resource allows you to find and customize both the reading level and topic for your students, which allows you and your students to write stories with pictures of people they know, stories about topics they love, and connect with what's going on in their lives. Another unique feature of Tarheel Reader is that it has been designed to allow students who use alternative access methods to make book choices and to page forward and backwards through books. For students who require alternate access method, the site can be accessed through a mouse, touchscreen, alternative pointing device, AAC device with serial output, switches, and the IntelliKeys. At the end of this session, you will want to email tarheelreader@cs.unc.edu and request a registration code. Again, this is a free resource, but you do need the code to access all of the features on the site, like writing a book. The code simply protects the site from spam, and you will only need to use the code the first time you register on the site. All right, we're going to go and get started with tarheelreader.org. Here we are on the home page of Tarheel Reader. We have two main options. We can find a book or we can write a book. Let's start with finding a book. From here, we end up on our page finder. We want to narrow our search, and we have a few options at the top that will help us do so. If we know a specific topic, we could enter it into the search menu. We can narrow by category. We can also choose reviewed only if you want to see books that others have read and rated. The reviewed books are indicated on the front page of the book with the yellow stars. We also have an option to choose a rating, rated E for everybody or rated C for caution. Remember, the site does have books that are intended for teenagers who are just learning to read, so you may want to use this option if you have younger students. We also have the ability to choose the language and narrow the search by what's available in that language. So let's go with an example. I'm going to go to all topics and I'm going to choose math and science. I'm going to keep it on reviewed only. I'm happy with rated E for everybody, and I'm going to keep the language at English. Let's hit search. As you can see, a new page has popped up with multiple book options. Again, here is the title of the book, the author. You have a rating for those books because we chose reviewed only. And in the right bottom corner, you can see how many pages there are per book. So in Space Junk by Jane Farrell, she has a 2.5 rating on this book, and it has 21 pages. Let's see, there's still a lot of options, and I was really hoping to find a book on the moon. So I'm going to narrow my search even more. Let's see what pops up. Oh, these are a little more specific to what I was looking for. I'm going to select The First Man on the Moon by Miss Melanie. It has 2.5 stars, and it has 8 pages in it.
The First Man on the Moon. The First Man on the Moon. The moon is a big rock and does not have any people, plants, or animals living on it.
As you can see, I moved forward with the book by hitting the next button, but I also have the option to page back. I'm going to move ahead to the end of the book so you can see what appears on the last page. For every book in Tarheel Reader, you will be presented with this option. This is really great for students as well because you can choose to read this book again, rate this book, or read another book. We're going to go to read another book. Now we're back on the Find page. As I demoed, you heard the story being read aloud. If you want to change the voice or silent the voice, you can do so by adjusting the settings in the top right corner. I click speech. We heard this child's voice, but you also have some other options here, or I can choose silent. Within the settings tab, I can also adjust the background color or the text color. I click on colors. I choose page color, and I have a few options pop up. Let's choose yellow. I've now made all of the backgrounds yellow in my books. I can do the same and adjust the text color. Let's choose red. This might be something to consider using if you have a student with a visual impairment. If at any time you want to go back to the default setting, simply click on the gear and click default. On the Find page, we can also choose favorite books by clicking on the heart icon in the upper right-hand corner. Right now, each of these books that has an empty heart is not part of my favorites, but anything with a full heart is considered one of my favorites. If I add another heart here, it's going to be added to my favorite books. I can also remove it easily. To access my favorites, I simply go to the menu in the top left, and I scroll down to find favorites. I can now see that I have 3 books that are part of my favorites. If I want to adjust them from here, I can click on the heart again, and I can add or remove. If I bookmark this page in my browser, I can return to it directly at any time. This could be helpful in a classroom if you wanted your students to choose a preferred book from a selection that you pre-made for them. Another way to share favorites is by creating a collection. Let's go to Menu. We're going to go down to Your Books, and we're going to see Your Collections under here. Under Your Collections, I click on Favorites, and I'm presented with a dialog box. I have 3 books as we previously saw in my current favorites, so I'm going to enter a title. Let's do Science Class Monday. I'm going to enter a description. 3 books about the moon and rainbows. I'm going to save it as a new collection. And now I have Science Class Monday listed under Your Collections. At any point, I can click in here and I can edit. I can add to my collection, I can rename it, I can delete it as well. Once I've added something as a collection, it becomes visible for all to find within collections. From there, I would go to menu. I'm going to go to collections, and I can enter science class on Monday and see if I can find it. And you can now see that our collection has been added to the public website. So let's click on our collection, Science Class Monday. From here, I can also bookmark this page again, or I can copy the address and share it directly with a colleague, a student, or a parent, and I can even post this link in my virtual learning platform for students to access during remote learning. We're back on the home page. Now we're going to look at how to write a book. From the main page, I click Write a Book. You do have to be logged in to access these features. There are 4 quick steps to writing a book. I can enter some words into the search to see what photos are available. I'm going to write about going to the grocery store. Let's see. I'm going to put in grocery store. When I click on the thumbnails, I can see a larger version of the picture. I like this picture, so I'm going to add it to my book. Clicking next or previous is going to allow me to scroll through the pictures as well. I'm going to keep searching for a few more pictures. Let's see. Let's do grocery cart. Let's see. Not sure what this picture is. Doesn't seem to really apply, so I'm going to click next. This might work. Let's see if the next one. Oh, I like this one. We're going to add this to our book. And we also need to look at the cash register at the grocery store. See if any of these look like they apply. That one's close, but it's not quite the view that I was looking for. Oh, here we go. We're going to add this to my book. So from here, you can find pictures that are available. You can also upload your own pictures. In step 2, I'm going to enter a short sentence for each page. From here, I can also see from the thumbnail pictures that I want to slightly reorder them. I'd like the grocery cart to go first. So I drag and move it over. So if I click on the picture, it enlarges it and it says click to edit. I can enter my text. So we're going to do a simple sequence story. First, I get my cart. And I'm going to choose next. My next picture pops up. Then I get the items on my list. And let's see. Last, I pay for my items at the register. Let's click next. We'll click out of here because we've gone through all of our pages. And then I can fill in the details of my book. I can assign it a title. I can choose the author. I'm going to choose the language. We're going to present this in English. Our title is going to be 3 Steps for Grocery Store. Store. And then I'm going to categorize my book. Let's see. I'm going to put it with people and places. Audience rating. I think it's rated E for everybody. There doesn't seem to be anything too concerning in it. I can add tags. I can choose the beginning literacy framework. And then I have the last option in step 4, which is to save it as a draft or publish it. If I'm ready, I can publish my book now and it's available for everyone accessing the site to read. I feel pretty comfortable that this can go out and be published, so I'm going to click publish. To quickly find the books that I've written, I go back to the menu. I select your books from the dropdown, and I can see the books that I have published. This is the second book I've published, which is now called 3 Steps for the Grocery Store. If at any time I want to modify it or I want to remove it from the publishing version, I can click on it and I can click edit. So now I'm actually going to save it back as a draft. I'm not quite ready to have others view it. So it says at the bottom, your book has been saved as a draft. I go into menu, back to your books, and I can see that 3 Steps for the Grocery Store is now under your draft books. This might be a place that you want to keep a book if it has any personal information about students or their photographs. The last component we're going to look at is editing a book. If you want to add or change something in a book that already exists, you can create a new version of the book, even if it was written by somebody else. So to edit a book, let's do this. First, we're going to find our book. I know that previously I read this book titled Sometimes I Need Help. It's a really good fit for my student, but there's a few pieces of information in there that don't apply to him. So I'm going to click on this. Sometimes I Need Help. From here, I can click on the gear and I can go down to More. At the very bottom, I can click on Create a New One Like It. So I liked most of the story, but in particular, there's on the 3rd page, it says, at home, I can ask my mom for help. Well, my student actually doesn't live with his mom. So we are going to edit this, and he actually lives with his dad. I'm going to click Next. I'm pretty happy with the rest of the story as I've already previewed it. So I can click out of here. And I am going to change it. Sometimes I need help. And we are going to name this for, let's say my student's name is Aiden. I'm going to keep the credit for the original author, and I'm going to add my name as well. We're going to keep English, and I'm going to save this as a draft. It's been saved to my drafts. Now, if I go back into my books, and I go to your books, in my draft books, I can see Sometimes I Need Help. If I read my book and scroll to the page I changed, I can now see that I've customized it. So I didn't have to do a lot of work or recreating the wheel. I just changed one page. Lastly, if you're looking for additional information when you're in the site, you can always click on the menu button and you have a few options. You do have the Announcements tab, but you can click on Help. From here, you will find information on the different accessibility modes that Tarheel Reader supports. You can also go to Frequently Asked Questions. The very first question is a reminder to you to simply send an email to tarheelreader@cs.unc.edu requesting that code be emailed to you. They're very quick to respond. And we go back to the menu and we're home again. So that's a look at Tarheel Reader. Feel free to reach out to us with any question. Thanks for participating in this segment of ATK's On the Go series. Before you go, save this link, bit.ly/ATK exit. And make sure you fill out an exit ticket to provide feedback and ask any follow-up questions. Filling out the exit ticket will also get you entered into one of our raffle prizes from some awesome assistive tech prizes.